Hi everyone, it's Sasha Solvey, an apprentice here at Skillful. This is the 7th LMI update, which occurs every third Friday. Before I get into it, I wanted to let new listeners know that if they want more information behind what this podcast is about, be sure to listen to the first update, linked below. In recent news, an article by Bloomberg took the time to analyze tech talent shortages with the help of Indeed assessment data backing up the author's claims. The article explains how tech job seekers are actually better matched to current job opportunities in their industry than employment seekers in the broader economy. Jobs in the overall economy are changing faster than job postings for tech positions, according to the report by Gimbel, research director at Indeed's hiring lab, and Sinclair, an economics professor at George Washington University. Though the skills gap in tech was smaller than the overall economy, that the shortfall has increased in recent years as companies struggle to find data scientists and software engineers. Rather, the article is saying that positions for tech support roles and IT technicians were easier to fill. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Finally, an article by the Fast Company outlined changes older workers can do to update their resume. Believe it or not, age discrimination remains a conflict we still see today when it comes to building an active workforce. The article starts off with an empowering message. At what age do you think the Age Discrimination and Employment Act protects you? That is, at what age is it illegal for employees to not hire or fire you purely on the basis of your age? 60 or maybe even 50? It's evident through the author that hiring older workers doesn't seem like a viable option. Here's a quote. Age discrimination is unfair, wrong, and frankly, bad for businesses. There are many benefits to hiring older workers, one of them being they often have experience and networks that younger workers don't even have yet. So here are the 3 tips the article mentions to help out older workers. 1. Limit your work history to 15 years. 2. Keep your resume to 2 to 3 pages. And 3, don't date your education or awards. Any additional tips come to mind? Leave them down below. Another article by the same source reported on an interesting topic: Gen Z employees. They are the future of our workforce and will very soon take over. Here are the findings from the author. Gen Zers are aspiring to work in tech. The majority of job applications from Gen Zers were for companies in the tech industry, followed by business services, finance, and retail. Across Glassdoor reviews left by Gen Z, work environment, flexible hours, and good pay are the most common keywords used by Gen Z to describe the pros of working for their employers. And finally, Gen Z is applying to open jobs in popular metros like New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Boston, and Chicago. So how do businesses get their foot in the door and go after such workers? The author explains that new technologies drive Gen Z, so the hiring process needs to keep up too. Features such as ensuring your ATS is mobile optimized for easy apply to creating recruiting videos to showcase your fun culture and perks. Gen Zers spend much of their day using social media applications designed to make their lives easier. Promoting your employer brand across social channels, devices, and platforms will raise your awareness and show them why they should work for you. Tracking which hiring channels are most effective and then adjusting spending accordingly. Targeting informed candidates such as those on Glassdoor, and sharing relevant content, reviews, articles, videos with candidates at each stage, engaging with women and minority career networks in relevant fields, addressing bias in the screening and interview process to give diverse candidates a fair chance, and other tips such as getting smart with content marketing and offering inclusive benefits are all things that will attract Gen Z workers. If any of these findings interest you, click on the link in the transcript to access the whole article. Moving on, a quick BLS report summary. This report is from last month, February of 2018. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the unemployment rate declined by 0.2 percentage point to 3.8% in February. and the number of unemployed persons decreased by 300,000 to 6.2 million. Among the unemployed, the number of job losers and persons who completed temporary jobs, including people on temporary layoff, declined by 225,000. This decline reflects, in part, the return of federal workers who were furloughed in January due to partial government shutdown. The labor force participation rate held at 63.2% in February and has changed little over the year. The employment population ratio at 60.7% was unchanged over the month, but was up by 0.3 of a percentage point over the year. In February, employment continued to trend up in professional and business services, healthcare, and wholesale trade, while construction employment declined. Among the marginally attached, there were 428,000 discouraged workers in February, little changed from a year earlier. These are workers who are not currently looking for work because they believe no jobs are available for them. Over the year, average hourly earnings have increased by 3.4%. Second, the recent LinkedIn report for February. The LinkedIn Workforce Report is LinkedIn's monthly report regarding hiring, skills, and migration trends of the U.S. They report on major cities such as Denver. The top skills in surplus in Denver, according to LinkedIn, are procurement, negotiation, real estate, property management, management accounting, educational administration, personal coaching, wellness, interior design, and educational research. Meanwhile, the top skills shortages are oral communication, business management, leadership, digital literacy, people management, social media, time management, development tools, data storage technologies, and web development. Hiring was 0% higher in February of 2019 than February of 2018. Seasonally adjusted hiring was 2.9% lower in February than January. Denver has the most gross migration, gains plus losses, with Fort Collins in Colorado. So for every 10,000 LinkedIn members in Denver, 27.32% of workers either moved to or from Fort Collins in the last year. Nationally, across all industries, gross hiring in the U.S. was 2.9% lower than in February 2018. Seasonally adjusting hiring was 0.9% lower in February from January of 2019. The softening of U.S. hiring is consistent with a trend seen over the past 2 months within LinkedIn's data and actual government data, which suggests we could expect to see weaker hiring numbers in the months ahead. The nature of work is also evolving. As routine cognitive jobs, these are like repetitive desk jobs, are declining, about 4% lower from 2015 to 2018, workers without college degrees are increasingly shifting to non-routine manual jobs. However, we shouldn't misinterpret this as workers with no college degrees are losing their jobs and are unemployed. They too have benefited from a tighter labor market and accelerating pay growth. Given that people with college degrees are increasing over time, it makes sense that abstract analytical jobs, which is 7% higher, roles like business analyst or business consultant, are increasing in employment share. Interestingly, non-routine manual jobs, so jobs like being a driver and being an electrician, are increasing in employment share as well, and these jobs may not require college degrees. Where we're seeing a real decline is routine cognitive jobs, like being a phone operator or a ticket agent. Moving on from LinkedIn, MZ is one of the many labor market tools that we use to assess the economic development and labor workforce landscape of Colorado. Here's my research on Broomfield County as it compares to Montrose County regarding data around the region and job postings within the last year. So in Broomfield, there are about 350,000 people, and the population is projected to grow by about 22,000 over the next 5 years. Within the 200,000 people in the labor force, about 5,000 are unemployed. Concerning educational attainment, 28.1% of Broomfield residents possess a bachelor's degree. In comparison, about 49.8% of the population in Broomfield has an associate's degree or less. Looking at retirement, about 95,000 people are expected to retire soon in Broomfield, and about 86,000 millennials live in the area. So, moving on to job postings, in Broomfield in 2018, there were about 7,800 graduates, and the pipeline has grown by 5% over the last 5 years. Within the past year in Broomfield, there were about 63,000 unique job postings. And the top hard skills within these job postings were nursing, selling techniques, merchandising, restaurant operation, home care, accounting, basic life support, warehousing, customer satisfaction, and caring for people with dementia. Meanwhile, the top soft skills within these postings were management, sales, customer service, communications, operations, leadership, innovation, problem solving, written communication, and research. So Montrose County has a slightly different regional landscape. There are about 500,000 people, and the population is expected to grow by 30,000 over the next 5 years. About 260,000 employed people are in the labor workforce, of which about 8,000 are unemployed. Data shows that 59.9% of Montrose County residents hold an associate's degree or less, and only 14.5% of residents hold a bachelor's degree. In terms of retirement, 105,000 people are expected to retire soon, and about 113,000 millennials live in the area, which is slightly higher than the national average. In Montrose County in 2018, there were about 9,000 graduates, and the pipeline has grown by 6% over the last 5 years. This being said, there were about 108,000 unique job postings within the past year. The top common hard skills within these job postings were restaurant operation, selling techniques, nursing, merchandising, accounting, warehousing, customer experience, customer satisfaction, purchasing, and auditing. Meanwhile, the top soft skills in these job postings were management, communications, sales, customer service, operations, leadership, innovation, problem solving, written communication, and interpersonal skills. Thanks for listening, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. If you were able to take away anything, found anything useful, or have any suggestions, let me know in the comments.